I first had Heineken probably drinking with Dad.
Cheers it.
Because I didn't really start drinking beer until I went to this one party and all they had was beer. It was like $5 to get in, all you can drink. But all they had was kegs of Canadian.
And what, after your third beer, you're like, this is me?
I love beer now.
Or were you more like 10 in and you started just fucking yelling?
Well, I always hated it. I could never finish a beer before this day, before this glorious day. And I said to myself, I says, well, I'm going to have to drink some fucking beer. And I just manned up and fucking started drinking beer. And that from that day forth, I like the beer.
I thought you were going to say that you said, well, bear's got to eat.
Bear's got to fucking eat, motherfucker.
And I've got no vodka.
Before that, Dad would always say, oh, one day, my lovely son, one day you'll drink a beer with me. One day you'll drink a beer with me. He didn't have an accent. I don't know why I'm doing
That's funny. You did a Scottish accent for that Irish dad. That's great.
But he did say that. And then that day, I fell down a hill in front of I was probably in my early 30s, and there was a huge backyard. It was a fucking great party. And I hit a hill, and I fell all the way down it. I was only 300 pounds. I was only 120 pounds more than every single person there, and probably 10 years older. And I just head over heels down.
It was a teen party.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Well, I mean, everybody was like, hey, you want to go to this house party? They have free booze for $10 or whatever. I'm like, yeah, sure. It wasn't teenagers, but it was like early 20s, and I was early 30s.
Okay, so you're you walked in there like old school.
Maybe it was late 20s.
Wasn't it old school when they showed up at the party?
It was kind of similar. It actually was kind of similar to that, to be completely honest.
Because, yeah, the college kids are around 20.
And then I was the king. And then the beer finished, and we laughed immediately.
Or no, it's more like showing up to a party like Beer Fest. Remember when they were training and they showed up to the friggin' high school party?
And I'll come to think of it, I was on mushrooms.
Oh, my God, so you can drink so much.
Yeah, so I drank a ton of fucking beer.
And that's where you learned.
I remember meeting this one guy who just made jokes about how big I was. It wasn't mean jokes, but it was jokes. And it was like 15 minutes of me giggling at him, making jokes about me.
Oh, and he just kept going?
He's like, look at the size of you. I could pick you up on a good day. Just great. I don't remember the jokes.
It sounds like John Candy jokes then.
They were good, but they weren't like, hey, you're a fat fuck. You know, it was actual.
Oh, yeah, like a mean.
Yeah, it wasn't mean. It was funny as fucking. And Marcus was with me. So he was making jokes about the difference in the size of us. He's like, you look like you could pick him up and eat him. Is that your son? Is that your son? He said it probably 4 times. Is that your son?
That's great.
Do you just bring him because he's so big?
And this is like a young kid?
Yeah, he was like early 20s, yeah. I'm like, that guy should do stand-up.
Fuck, we should get him on the show. Hey, funny guy, if you see this, give us an email.
Ask his name.
Yeah.
Anything. That was just an experience I had, and then that was it.
Just text Nick's beeper.
I was so high on mushrooms. Or me and Marcus just giggling.